hope that this works. I'm just gonna, whoa, sticks blowing up all around me. I'm just gonna hope that this goes well. Yeah, so where were we? What I'm gonna start doing, I got a crunch for time. I'm gonna shoot for 10 to 15 minute videos. So we're gonna do that. 10 to 15 minute videos. And we're just gonna work through Leonardo's Commonplace book, chapter 10 minutes at a time. So we'll see how far we go. All right, let's begin. Where were we? I guess I'll just read the last paragraph and start new. This is like where I ended in last week's episode. So if you're interested in commonplace books, bullet journals, daily musings, whatever these keywords are, let me know. There's a highway not too far away from here, Highway 42 in Wisconsin. You can look it up. You don't have to. I wouldn't. Or maybe I would. It depends. Who knows? But yeah, it's a ways away. I'm in the woods, but the leaves are off the trees, so sound travels further, I guess. Anyways, let's go. One purpose of these notebooks was to record interesting scenes, especially those involving people and emotions. As you go about town, Leonardo wrote in one of them, constantly observe, note, and consider the circumstances and behavior of men as they talk and quarrel, or laugh, or come to blows. For that purpose, he kept a small notebook hanging from his belt. According to the poet Giovanni Battista Giraldi, whose father knew Leonardo, quote, and this is the new portion. So, when Leonardo wished to paint a figure, he considered what social standing and emotion it was to represent, whether noble or plebeian, joyful or severe, troubled or serene, old or young, irate or quiet, good or evil. And when he had made up his mind, he went to places where he knew that people of that kind assembled and observed their faces, their manners, dresses, and gestures. And when he found what fitted his purpose, he noted it in a little book, which he was always carrying in his belt. So that's cool, and that's something. I kind of talked about it. I touched on the little bullet journal thing, mini composition notebook that swung from his belt. Kind of an odd flex, if you ask me, but I get it as a writer. But what's my takeaway from this paragraph? When Leonardo wished to paint a figure, and I think that this is important to consider, because I don't know. Let's talk about Leonardo's paintings. Who wants to talk about the Mona Lisa? That was good. It's fine. Who wants to talk about the Mona Lisa? These other, I'm not going to spend time thinking or looking up like what other paintings he has. I know he has other paintings. I've seen them. I just can't think of the names off the top of my head, so I hope you'll forgive me. But my point is that when he wanted to paint a figure, what does he do? He's not just looking at something. He's aiming to understand it completely. I'm like really crunching the page, so that's probably bad for the audio. I apologize. I'm doing my best. I'm in the woods. I'm outside. There are no walls. And because there are no walls, that lends itself to, certain happenings that are beyond my control, certain environmental pollutions, sound, for example. Anyways, when he wished to paint a figure, he considered what social standing and emotion it was to represent. So that's interesting. We talk about, and this relates to commonplace books, to writing, to reading, because if you do pick up Walter Isaacson's biography of Leonardo, if you do study Leonardo's commonplace books, his whatever, I was going to say bullet journals, but I don't know if there are those. This is just, anyways, we're staying on subject, only have 10 or 15 minutes. If you do study Leonardo's commonplace books, go look them up, read this book, you'll see that he was drawing figures constantly. And that's interesting because it's just a way of, writing outside of the box. It's a way of deepening one's experience when they write, in my opinion. It's a way of deepening one's experience as they write. I don't know, it's just something that can help make writing easier, allowing yourself to sketch, not necessarily holding yourself to, writing full sentences. That's the argument for a bullet journal, I'll say. But the idea is that, when Leonardo was trying to understand somebody, he's not just thinking, okay, what do they look like? He's imagining, what's their social standing and emotion, that he's trying to represent. So it goes far beyond just the physical realm. It goes deeper than that. Is the person he's trying to get on the page noble or plebeian, joyful or severe, troubled or serene? Like, how does he want to represent them? Old or young, irate, quiet, good or evil. And when he had made up his mind, he went to places where he knew that people of that kind assembled and observed their faces, their manners, dresses, and gestures. And when he found what fitted his purpose, he noted it in a little book, which he was always carrying in his belt. So, if you're artistically inclined, or maybe you're not necessarily artistically inclined, but you're entrepreneurially inclined, or you just want to do a better job communicating with people, socializing, I think writing can help. Writing, in a bullet journal like Leonardo's that swung from his belt, or a Commonplace book, it lends itself to studying human beings. It lends itself to kind of digesting or allowing yourself the space to give physical form to your impressions of other people. And I think that what that does is it helps us reach a better understanding of whatever it is that we're looking for. And maybe that's a little too vague to be useful. Some just jumped, I swear. I don't know, something spooky about being in the woods. Sometimes walls are good, not gonna lie, because this is just a vast expanse and nobody knows I'm here, so hopefully a bear or something doesn't roll up. But anyways, what was I saying? A deeper understanding of, whatever it is that we're seeking. It might be too vague to be valuable, but I think there's something to it. And really my point is this, that writing allows us to explore to flush out the depths of other human beings in a way that virtually no other art form could. So Leonardo, he's remembered as a painter, as an engineer, as so many different things, as a polymath. Maybe that's the best all-encompassing term. But he was an artistic thinker, a creative thinker in every sense of the words, of the phrases, terms. And he used writing to help take his visual art deeper, and I think that's important, because what it means is that what it means in my mind is that no matter what you're going for, no matter what your goal is, your long-term goal, writing can help you, because you can personalize it to your interests, so that you personalize writing to your interests. And what that basically means is that regardless of what your goal is, what it boils down to is you're just documenting, you're giving physical form to the ideas that are in your head. And so what that means is that writing helps you focus in on a goal. And in Leonardo's case, it was, how do you create great art? Well, you have to understand a thing or two about human beings, about what makes them tick and why they look the way they do. And and he used writing to that end, and he used it, a bullet journal first and foremost, because you think, why combine a bullet journal, a small journal, with a Commonplace book? You do that, in my opinion, because when you're out and about, you don't have time to sit down and do detailed drawings, or sit down and do, write in full sentences. You kind of have to, you capture the impression as best you can. And, because if you're out in the real world instead of, sitting at a desk, you realize the world moves faster than you can, scratch your pen across the page. So for that reason, a bullet journal is useful, because it's not about, communicating something clearly and elaborately. It's just about getting the essence down. So that's my plug for a bullet journal. And then you leave wherever. In Leonardo's case, he would have left the places where he knew that people of that kind, the kind that he was trying to represent, assembled. So you leave that place, and then you turn back to it when it does come time to sit down. And it's just a way of, again, maybe making writing a little easier, because you're breaking the time up. I've said this before and I'll say it again, to become a better writer, you don't have to write 2 hours every day, although that definitely helps. You can write 15 minutes here, 10 minutes here, 5 minutes here, and just, if you're carrying a bullet journal, a mini composition notebook, or just writing bullet point impressions as you come across interesting facts or ideas or whatever interests you. If you do that enough, it adds up, it compounds. If you write for 10 minutes, a few times a day, over time it adds up really, really quickly. And I think that makes all the difference. It's going to make you better at communicating your ideas, better at speaking, thinking, reading, writing. So reading and writing are like the essence of true intelligence, I think. If whatever you want to do, whatever you want to become, however, whatever you might see or imagine your life to be like in the future, writing, clearly communicating your thoughts, reflecting on them, digesting them, that can help you get there. So let's see, how are we doing on time? I feel like I've just gone. We're at about 12 minutes, so I think I'm going to wrap it up. So that's one paragraph, and this was really my plug for a bullet journal and why it's a good idea, in my opinion, to synthesize a bullet journal and a commonplace book, something that you can do is very short form, a bullet journal, and something that's a bit longer, because you kind of get the best of both worlds. You get, you practice putting to page something that has to be fast, something that has to be immediate. And if you do that enough times, you're going to get very good at, what would you say, like capturing or giving form to the essence of something, using the written word. So maybe that makes sense, maybe it doesn't. I'm going to wrap it up because it's getting dark or something. I don't know. I'm just wrapping it up because really I only have a few days to edit, and 10 to 15 minutes is like the most I can handle at this point, honestly. So I want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Leave me a comment and I will type you paragraphs. I really appreciate all of you. We're at 227 subs right now, and I feel grateful. And I want to help you become a better writer, reader, thinker, speaker. I want to help you actualize your full potential and achieve your goals. And thank you so much for watching, for giving some of your time and attention to this channel. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time.